Hi guys, Grace Alana here, or Moonro Mommy. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So today's video is going to be about the upcoming Mercury retrograde. So on Saturday, March 15th at 2:56 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Mercury is going to station retrograde at 9 degrees of Aries. And it's going to retrograde from 9 degrees of Aries back onto 26 degrees of Pisces. And the retrograde is going to go from March 15th until April 7th. So, in general, what are we going to expect out of this? Mercury in Aries is fast, it's direct, it's action-oriented, but Mercury retrograde causes this energy to slow down. And I want to backtrack. If you want to know what to just generally expect from Mercury retrograde as a whole, I have another video that I recorded and uploaded. I'm new to YouTube. This is only my third day out here. This is only my third video. So I know people can insert a video in another video. So if I figure out how to do that, I'm gonna put that video in here. But if not, just go on my page and find it. But yes, Mercury, in general, Mercury is a very fast moving planet. Like outside of the moon, Mercury is the fastest moving planet. But Aries in general is a very fast paced sign. Mercury does very well in Aries. So this retrograde is going to be interesting, period, because even thinking about Mercury being fine in Aries, Mercury is going to be cool. Mercury retrograde, in general, a planet is debilitated when it's retrograde. It's uncomfortable. It's not operating at its best capability. But Mercury retrograde in Pisces specifically can make this energy a little bit worse or a little bit more challenging because Mercury is in its fall in Pisces. Mercury does not like to be in Pisces. Mercury is uncomfortable in Pisces. So when it comes to it already expressing its energy naturally in that sign, it don't work well. And then you make it retrograde, which is like, damn, double homicide. So this retrograde is just going to be interesting. So be mindful of that. But in general, this phase, the Mercury and Aries phase, can definitely reveal where you might have been too impulsive in speaking, decision making, or handling conflicts, because Mercury represents the way that you think, the way that you speak, the way that you communicate. Expect the potential for miscommunication. Of course, we don't want miscommunications to happen, but that's literally just like a given for Mercury retrograde. Misunderstood texts, forgotten plans, speaking too soon, having your foot in your mouth, and then you regret it. So just watch your mouth, check yourself. Like I said in the other video, check yourself, don't check other people. And just in general, be mindful of frustration, impatience, and arguments. And something else that I just thought about that I didn't have in my notes. Mercury is going to be ruled, well, Mars, when Mercury is in Aries, at least, Mercury period is going to be uncomfortable, because I was thinking about the fact that Mercury is fine in Aries. Like Mercury, again, does well in Aries, but we also have to think about the fact that Mars is the planet that rules Aries. Mars is the planet that represents conflict, intention, and stress. So when Mercury is in Aries in general, people can be a little bit more argumentative, confrontational. It can lead to the potential for arguments and people to be cussing each other out and popping their shit. Like, it's not the easiest time for communication all the time. But Mars was retrograde in Cancer, and Mars is still in Cancer, the planet of the sign of its fall. So there's just a lot of uncomfortable, challenging energy as it pertains to this Mercury retrograde inherently, which could make the energy a little sketch. So we want to think about that. But yeah, you can, in general as well, find yourself revisiting past ideas before moving forward, because that's just the key thing of Mercury retrograde, period. Now, on the 29th, Mercury is going to retrograde back into Pisces. So when Mercury is in Pisces, logic is dissolved and thoughts can be more dreamy, more emotional, more intuitive. You can find yourself, it's a powerful time for reflection, honestly, spiritual insights, reconnecting with your dreams, your intuition, your past creative ideas. So in general, I would really say during Mercury retrograde in Pisces, if nothing else, really use this time to connect with yourself internally. Pay attention to your intuition, signs, dreams, gut feelings. If you're really thinking about something from the past, or if your mind keeps wandering back to nostalgia or something like that, that could mean something. Think about it, journal about it. Don't act on it, because again, we don't make decisions when Mercury is retrograde. But again, you can just think about that energy, period. Miscommunications when Mercury is retrograde in Pisces can stem from vagueness, misunderstandings, or misreading situations emotionally. Because at the end of the day, like Mercury in Pisces, well, Pisces energy, period. Pisces is a sign that is associated with illusion, delusion, confusion, fantasies, mysticism, all of the mystical rainbows and sunshine vibes. So with Mercury retrograde in Pisces, again, confusion can come from people maybe not necessarily telling the whole truth or leaving things out, or again, being vague or misleading. So you just want to pay attention to things like that. Be mindful of mental fog, confusion, and overthinking, because again, it can make decision making more difficult. And again, like I said, you don't want to make decisions during a retrograde if you can avoid it. So think about that. But yeah, it's a really good time to connect with yourself internally. And just in general, how will this affect you? Expect blurred and confusing messages, forgotten details, speaking without thinking. Aries is a sign that's very direct. And again, Pisces is a sign that's very vague. So that energy, when it makes a shift, can be very contradictory. It can be very stark. So that's something to think about. It can also lead to the potential for delays, canceled plans, lost items, and unexpected detours with travel plans. So you just want to make sure that you're double checking your plans, your documents, your reservations. Get to the airport early. If you're driving, like I said in my last video, if you're doing a road trip, make sure that you put gas in your car before you get on E, or, make sure your air pressure is full. Make sure that, there's nothing that can go wrong if everything is, like, if the potential for something to go wrong can happen. Make sure everything that could potentially go wrong is at its best. Period. Beware of technology issues, texting the wrong person, mishaps with social media. Just be very diligent as you communicate and handle technology and things like that. Again, it's a powerful time for reflection, artistic projects, revisiting old ideas, especially old creative ideas. And again, working with yourself and connecting intuitively and internally, period. There could be confusion around contracts, payments, negotiations, etc. So just make sure that you're reading the fine print if you do have to make any decisions. Who's going to feel this the most? Again, it's going from 9 degrees of Aries to 26 degrees of Pisces. So the cardinal placements from 0 to 9 degrees. So again, Aries, Libra, Capricorn, and Cancer placements, and also the mutable placements. So Pisces, Virgo, I was about to say Scorpio, Sagittarius, and Gemini placements from like 20-ish and beyond. So from like 20 to 29 degrees. You're going to feel it the most because your Mercury, well, not your Mercury, but if you have placements within those degrees, they are going to be aspected by this retrograde in some way. So again, what to do? Slow down before thinking or deciding. If you can avoid it, don't make any major decisions. Again, if you follow me, if you know me, I always tell people, don't let these retrogrades and these transits make you put your life on pause. If you have a trip planned like me, my birthday is taking place during this Mercury retrograde. I'm still finna go get on a plane. I don't care. I'm gonna travel, but I'm just gonna make sure that I'm at the airport early. I'm gonna check my bag multiple times to make sure that I packed everything that I need. I'm gonna be careful. So yeah, as astrologers, we tell you what can possible mishaps and things that can happen with the transits potentially, so that if you do have something going on, like for example, if you do have a trip, okay, let me make sure I have everything that I need. Let me make sure there's gas in my car, make sure there's air in my tires. Or if I'm signing a contract, let me make sure that I'm reading the fine print. Let me make sure I'm doing my due diligence so there's no funny business going on, or I'm not about to be out here getting finessed. You just want to make sure that you use the transits and use astrology to your advantage. Everybody's like, oh, y'all always telling us we can't do this and we can't do that. It's not that you can't do it. You can do whatever you want. And again, if you live your life, if you have something planned during a Mercury retrograde that is adverse to a Mercury retrograde, just make sure that you're doing what make sure your shit is cool. That's it. Live your life though. Journal and reflect. With the retrograde being in Pisces, again, this is a great time to connect with yourself with things like introspection, dream analysis, revisiting past thoughts and ideas. Just really connect with yourself. You can even find yourself reconnecting with spiritual and creative practices. So meditation, art, tarot, journaling, etc. can really help you process emotions and work with your insights in yourself during this transit. even with that, it could also be a good time. Yeah, you also always want to be rational and you always want to do things properly and make sure that you are being logical. But with Mercury being in Pisces, Mercury retrograde in Pisces, this could be a time where you could potentially be embracing intuition over logic as well too, and doing things more so based on your instincts or your feelings. Avoid rush decisions. Again, if you can avoid making decisions, avoid making decisions. But if you do have to do something, just be very meticulous. So yeah, that is what you can expect from Mercury retrograde. If you want to know how this Mercury retrograde will affect you personally, moonruledmommy.com to book a reading. If you have any plans or anything that you want to double check with me about this retrograde, I can definitely, answer any questions that you have. Also, subscribe to my Patreon. Subscribe to this channel first. I'm new. It's only my third day out here. This is only my third video, like I said. So be gracious with me. I know there's there's some pauses and some and the editing might not be the best, but I'm doing the best I can. It's only me. I don't have a team yet. And also, with my Patreon, like I was saying, subscribe to my Patreon. If you want to know what to expect from this Mercury retrograde period, if you become a paid subscriber to my Patreon, paid members for $15 a month get access to horoscopes and extended breakdowns for major transits. So generally speaking, you don't have to pay for this on my Patreon. Everybody gets access to a major forecast where I break this down. So everything that I just read to you, or not that I read, but I read and talked about, was from the write-up that I do every month that I put on my Patreon. So you could literally read this for yourself if you wanted to. It's free. It's available for everybody. But if you want to know what to expect from this retrograde for your rising sign, subscribe to that Patreon. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you liked it. I'm open to all feedback, but don't be mean to me because I will cuss you the fuck out. Like I don't play the mean games. I block, I cuss, my mouth is lethal. So remember that before you say something crazy to me. But yeah, welcome to my channel. I'm really excited to build this community. I'm really excited to start posting and things like that. So thank you for watching. Love you, bye.